And so I went out into the hallway, and another tenant tells me, "Our roof is on fire." Hi, hello, how are you? My name is Sarah from Sarah's Reading Nook, and today I'm going to be participating in a 24-hour readathon. This is my first 24-hour readathon, and forgive me, but I have already started it. So I started it at 12:30 and it is now 1:30. However, I decided to refilm the introduction since I was outside and it was pretty noisy. So today's readathon is going to be a bit of a celebration of Eden Robinson. She is from Northern British Columbia, and she is from the Haisla and Hailitsuk nations. Her book, Son of a Trickster, was nominated for Canada Reads 2020 and has been very well received here in Canada. So with that book, I did a reading vlog, and the second half of the book I read so quickly because I was totally consumed with it, and so I did not vlog my second part of that book. However, I'll give my thoughts here right now, and also I have a discussion video that either I'll post at the end of this video or in a separate one. So Son of a Trickster is about an adolescent named Jared, and he cares a lot for his family. His mother battles with drug addiction and also has violent tendencies as well. His father, who is not together with Jared's mom, is experiencing joblessness. So Jared really feels the need to protect and also provide for his family and to support them in whatever way he can. He's very caring. He cares for everyone that he meets, really. And he also has the ability to encounter magic, but he would describe himself as anti-magic because the magic that's in Son of a Trickster has a more sinister element than other books that I have read about magic. And in book 1, you leave at a point where Jared has sought help as he was also battling with addiction. And now in Trickster Drift, Jared has been sober for quite some time. He has been sober for a year and is moving from northern BC to Vancouver. So I'm really excited about that. It's a huge change moving from a small town to one of the largest cities in Canada. I'm very familiar with Vancouver and also with Jared's home setting, so I'm looking forward to seeing what that transition for him is like, going from a small town to a big city. So how today is going to go down, I have 4 potential contenders. I'm starting with Trickster Drift, so part 2 of the Trickster series. So there are 3 other books that I may read today, and it just depends on how many books I'm able to get through. I am not the type of person that will breeze through any book, so I'm hoping at the very least I can finish Trickster Drift today. Assuming I do, I'm going to move on to Traplines, and if I finish Traplines, then I'm going to read Monkey Beach and Blood Sports. Now I started this at 12:30 and it is now 1:35. I have some water with me and I also have some tissues nearby because even though Eden Robinson has like a really great sense of humor, some of her books can be quite dark. So I hope that you'll enjoy reading with me for the day. And today it is a super warm day. It is like 29 degrees Celsius. I'll try and look that up in Fahrenheit to see what that is for the American viewers or those who use a Fahrenheit system. But 29 degrees in Canada is pretty warm. But anyway, I'm still going to have a coffee nearby. I'm going to be as cozy as I can possibly be. I'll have the window open and let's get to reading. Okay, so at this point, since I started reading earlier, I have just finished chapter 1. So I'm about 25 pages in. And so Jared is on his way to Vancouver, and it looks like he's going to be staying with his aunt. The family dynamics are pretty tumultuous. You can see that Jared struggles communicating with his mom. I feel like him moving to Vancouver is such a big step, and he just doesn't want any drama or chaos in his life surrounding that move. But anyways, I'm rooting for him, and I'm excited to see what Vancouver is going to be like. Okay, so I just got a few more pages through, and I just had to laugh because it says literally that Jared had a 3-hour layover on his travels and stayed in Prince George, and it said The evening light hung in the air with the familiar tang of rotten eggs from the nearby pulp mill, which if you've ever been around a pulp mill before, you'll know that is the smell, and after not very much time at all, you get accustomed to it, but I just thought that was funny. So I literally just came back in from outside. This is only a couple of hours into the readathon, so we're going smoothly. So I started to hear sirens outside, and I heard that they were pretty loud, and I started to smell smoke. So I went outside on my balcony and looked outside along the street, and I saw smoke just like coming up above my apartment. And so I went out into the hallway, and another tenant tells me, "Our roof is on fire." So I don't ask questions. I go back into my apartment suite, frantically try and find Olivia. And Olivia knows something's up. So I slide the screen doors. She's walking around right now. She's really angry at me. So I close my sliding doors and I start looking underneath my couch. And I see her, and Olivia hates the carrier. So she starts howling at me. Not a cat sound, like that kind of sound. So then I think to myself, okay, this isn't a fire drill. This is for real. I have to get Olivia and I have to put her into her carrier. So then I shut the doors, get the carrier, grab her, put her in, and she is just yowling. Go outside and look, and I see that it wasn't our building, it was the building beside us. So the fire department is out there and they are hosing down that building. So it's a commercial building. Finally, after being out for some time, we're told everything is good, all clear, we have everything under control, you can go back in. Hi! And so, yeah, just a typical day. Now I'm going to chill out and get back to my reading. And at least the fire appears under control and we were told everything's okay, so back to reading. Okay, so it's just over 3:30 and I'm on page 61 of 460 pages. And now the main character, Jared, is being stalked by his mom's ex, who Jared has quite a traumatic past with. And at this point, Eden writes, "The people from his AA groups and old high school friends meant well, but they didn't know David. They hadn't had him popping up at corner stores and paper routes all throughout their teens, or waiting for them after school, smiling in a way which never reached his eyes." So I'm a little terrified, but we're gonna keep going. Whew, this book. Hey guys, so just a quick check-in. So right now it is 10 p.m. and I still have a bit more reading to do of Trickster Drift. So as of right now, I'm about 9.5 hours of the way through. So I'm hoping to finish that and then move on to Monkey Beach. Where I'm at in the book for Trickster Drift, I just finished chapter 24, and sort of like Son of a Trickster, it's getting to a point where now I think the magical elements are really coming through, and it's hard to make sense of reality right now. But I'm looking forward to it, and so we're going to keep reading, and then hopefully I'll move on to Monkey Beach and head to bed so that I can get some sleep before continuing on with the readathon tomorrow. Hey guys, so it's currently 6:51. So my plan today is to finish up with Trickster Drift, and then I'm going to listen and read the audiobook for Traplines, which is a shorter book. I do wish I was reading a little bit quicker, but I knew that my reading speed would be a challenge in this. And before sitting down to film, so I was reflecting on one of the things I really like about Eden's writing, and being from BC, and especially being from like northern BC and moving to the southern part of the province, she really gives a good sense of like what the environment and what the setting is like there. She doesn't shy away from talking about and giving sort of a depiction of certain neighborhoods. So anyway, I only have a little bit more time left, so I'm going to try and finish up Trickster Drift. So now it is currently 10:20 a.m. I have just over 2 hours left in my readathon. And the weather right now is very interesting. There's like thunder, but it's like 10:20 a.m. It kind of enhances the mood of the book I'm currently reading. So I finished Trickster Drift and I really enjoyed it. I gave it about 4.4 stars out of 5, and I won't spoil it, but it got so intense and so like magical by the end of it, and I instantly want to read more. I love how she writes her main character, who is Jared, and I'm really starting to appreciate all of the colloquial language that is incorporated into these books. Like, I have never seen it as heavy as I have in Eden's work. Like, she just totally nails it. Everything from like the text, the emails, the verbal language. I just love that. And I definitely recommend reading this work. In book 2, so Trickster Drift, she really sort of goes over indigenous activism as well, as Jared's aunt is an activist, and also the environmental implications as well. So yeah, really enjoyed it. And now I'm on to Traplines, and I'm about 40% of the way through. So I think I will finish this. It's pouring rain, there's thunder outside, and Traplines is a collection of short stories. They're incredibly dark, twisted, and has an air of unsolved mysteries as well. It's one of her earlier works. It's from 1999, and she was only 28 at the time when she wrote this. So yeah, I'm going to continue on, and so far, I think I'm like 20 something plus hours in at this point, 22 hours in. I'm like, what day is it even? So I'm going to continue reading that. I have my blanket. I have the window propped open so I can hear the rain, hear the thunder, and I'm just going to continue on with Traplines. Okay, so I just finished my first 24-hour readathon. Just in the nick of time. Right now it is 12:25, and I started it yesterday at 12:30 p.m. I finished 2 books, Trickster Drift and Traplines by Eden Robinson. So I'll just kind of give my thoughts about Traplines. So Traplines was a series of 4 short stories together in a book, and the setting changed from northern BC to Vancouver. And I don't want to give away any spoilers, but I do recommend Traplines if you're kind of looking for a more spooky, mysterious, sinister type of book. I feel like if you like mysteries, if you're curious about what life is like in northern BC, but these are not like light reads. It was so cool because outside there was thunder and lightning, and that sort of carried through the majority of my reading experience. I'm very happy that I did this readathon. I will likely do more of these type of readathons in the future. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Bye.